All right, friends, thanks for joining me today. We're gonna look at some tips on how to use the circular saw. Okay, folks, the circular saw is one of the hardest working tools on the job site, on a framing job site. And it's easy to use, but there's also some tricks that can make it a lot easier or a lot safer or a lot handier. So the first thing on a circular saw is cord management. Where is my cord plugged in at? Could I make it better? Could I position my body in a spot that it's not going to hinder me making the cut? So if this is my board, and if I'm gonna make a cut here, look at that cord. Look at where it's plugged in at. It's coming around there. If this is the only way I can make this cut, maybe I could come around this backside to where the cord is not going to be in the line of what I'm cutting. The other thing, if I have to do it like this, a lot of times I'll take this cord and I'll wrap it around me, and that way it's up out of the way. It's not going to be hindering the cut. It's not going to get cut as I'm making that cut across the board. So the second thing on using a circular saw, I always like to adjust the height of my blade before I start cutting. Especially if you're doing a lot of cutting on the same material, it's good to adjust the height so that way you're cutting maybe just a smidge below the actual material. On this one, it has just a wing nut over here. There's some that have a lever on them. This one's pretty easy. I lift up the guard, set it on the material I'm cutting, and then make sure there's just a little bit of clearance under here, and then tighten down that, that wing nut so that way I'm not going to be cutting into the table if I actually do cut on this unsupported. So the third thing, the third little tip I would give you is try to support your material so that way it's not just gonna fall off and drop off, especially if it's a heavy piece like this 2x12. If I cut through here and get close to the end, the weight of this is going to make it fall off, and then it's going to have a tear out. It's gonna rip, and I don't really want that, especially if this is gonna be like a stair stringer or a tread or something like that. So what I wanna do is I wanna support it. Now, it's very important how you support this material. Okay, so if I have some scrap material, I can support this material so I'm not cutting into this table underneath, but I want to support it properly. If I put my supports right here, let's do this. Let's put them right there, and then I cut through here, I'm creating a wedged moment. So I'm creating a pinch point in this cut because I'm cutting here. This is going to want to go this way and then this way, and then it will bind in my blade. It will bind my blade in that cut, and I want it really be struggle to get through, and it'll also want to kick back because I'm putting pressure on that blade. So in this situation, what I would recommend is holding it on that side, and then maybe a little bit smaller material on this side, not super small, but just a little bit less, so that way it can go down, but it's not gonna just drop off. So let's go ahead and let's try to support it properly. Okay folks, so now I have this thing supported properly. I actually don't even like this that much because we have this that's just a little bit lower, and we have inch and a half. This thing's like 1 3/8 inches. I kind of want to actually do something better than that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a scrap, kind of like that, through it. So that way I'm going to be cutting into the scrap, but it's not going to have a tendency to drop. So we're going to go ahead and make this cut. Now that leads into the fourth tip I'm going to give you. Wear your hearing protection. Most of the day, I'll have my earbuds just hanging. And most of the time, it's not even plugged into anything. It's just in my pocket, but these are here so that they're super handy. So when something's gonna be loud or something happens and it's super loud, I have them right here. Protect your hearing, folks, because once you lose it, it's expensive to get it back, and most of the time it's cost prohibitive of getting that hearing back. So this is a super easy, super cheap way to protect your hearing. I usually put my plugs in, and then if I know things are gonna be loud, I have a handy pair of muffs nearby too. I can throw those on as well, and I'm not damaging my hearing and just making a simple cut. So protect your hearing. Okay, so when you have your piece supported properly, you get a really nice cut like that. There's no tear out on the end. It's a super nice, super clean cut. You can use it as a stair tread or a stringer, and it looks really nice and professional, and it's not gonna have that tear out from where it fell off. All right, 5th tip on using a circular saw, watch what you're doing when you put it down. Don't just drop it. Sometimes this guard may stick. There could be a piece of wood wedged in here. The guard sticks, you set it down, the blade's still running, and it wants to go, okay? These tables have been used for many years, and there are actual, here's one right here, little cuts in the table. Yeah, you probably can't see that, can you? Cuts right here, where students just set down the circular saw and the guard wasn't fully back and it dug into the table a little bit. So be careful, because if you set that saw down, and the blade catches that cord, it's gonna cut it. Now, I know this from experience, done it before, had to replace cords on saws. So learn easy what others labored hard for. When you're done with the saw, make sure the cord is up and make sure the guard's back, and then set it down nice and easy, and you won't hurt anything. Especially you won't hurt yourself, and that's what we want to prevent, any accidents. So hey folks, I hope this helps. Make sure to work hard, because hard work is its own reward, and thanks for watching.